The case against 5 people linked to July's mass shooting at Mdlalose tavern in Nomzamo informal settlement in Soweto has been postponed to the 18th of October. They appeared in the Orlando Magistrate Court today. They face 19 counts of murder, robbery with aggravating circumstances and defeating the ends of justice. Let's bring in our reporter, Linda Mnisi, who was at court this morning. Linda, first of all, 16 people were murdered on that day in July, yet 19 counts of murder have now been put on the charge sheet. Explain it all.
Okay, so we're hearing from the NPA now that while they were investigating this mass shooting that happened in Soweto at Nomzamo informal settlement, what they came across were other cases, other murder cases that the now suspects are linked to. So on top of the 16 people who died at that particular tavern, there are other 3 cases of murder that some in the 5 have or are facing. And that is why now the NPA has decided to join all of these murder cases to make it 19 counts of murder. So essentially, the 3 cases are not linked to Nomzamo, but they just happen to be existing.
But all 5 accused are linked to the Nomzamo mass shooting, because I'm slightly confused now.
Yes, all 5 are linked to the Nomzamo shooting. It's just that some of them, amongst the 5, have other cases, 3 murder cases, separately. So they've joined all of them, and that's why we're saying they're facing 19 counts of murder. So all of them are linked to the Nomzamo shooting, just facing 19 counts of murder.
It sounds rather unusual, especially because we don't know, I don't think at this stage we know which of the accused are linked to the 3 additional murders, right? But how is the state going to proceed now, having joined different matters in one case?
So the state is going for further investigations at this point, and which is the reason why it was postponed to the 18th of November. And amongst the things that they want to do now is the identity parade. You'll remember that police issued this statement last week that made an arrest, and you know the people would be appearing today. So at this particular point, what they'll be doing is investigating this particular matter, but also joining the cases to then try to prove all the merits in it. So let's take a listen to, the issue around the counts exactly and how they came about.
The suspects before court are charged with 19 counts of murder, including the 16 murders that happened in Nomzamo tavern, and the 3 other murder cases emanate from other dockets that were combined with the Nomzamo one. We've got about 4 cases from Orlando subs and 2 from Clipdown subs, which are then all combined into one docket to formulate charges that they've appeared for, which is 19 charges of murder and multiple counts of attempted murder. I can't remember the exact number, robbery with aggravating circumstances and defeating the ends of justice.
5 suspects in the dock now. You say all 5 are believed to have been involved in the mass shooting at the Nomzamo tavern. 16 people died, right? When we went into the hearing this morning, everyone was under the impression that only 2 suspects had been arrested because that was the police announcement. Where did the other 3 come from?
So according to police investigation, it revealed that, the other 3, were linked to this particular case. But it's interesting, Tembegile, if you listen to or you've seen the police statement last week saying the first suspect that was arrested also helped in, the apprehension of the other suspect who was found in the Northern Cape. And today the lawyer of accused number 5, questioned essentially the prosecution of his client, who says has been known to the police for 3 months and has worked with the police to try and secure arrests of the other suspects in the matter. So when one looks at it, maybe the NPA would be able at a later stage to explain how they're linked, because not much has been revealed at this stage, and also looking at, the investigations that still need to go underway, the issues of the identity parade that still need to be done, and that is why we could not show their faces. But there's also this issue around, whether or not they are a syndicate and whether they were acting in common purpose. And we asked, the NPA if they were part of this syndicate, and this is what they had to say.
Well, investigations are progressing very well. At this stage, we do suspect that it is a syndicate that wanted to control your mining, your abandoned mines, your dumping sites, and the cable theft syndicate. But for now, it's just our suspicion. Investigations, as they progress, we'll be able to have more answers.
There were images circulating, Linda, that were said to have been of the suspects wanted in connection with the mass shooting. Are these 5 people in the dock today, are they the same people whose images had been released to the public?
It's a question we posed to the NPA, given the fact that they indicated that 2 people had been arrested initially. So the question was, are they linked? Are they amongst the people whose faces we've seen, whose faces and identities were revealed by the police? And the NPA says, at this stage, because of the sensitivity of the matter and where the case is, they cannot reveal whether or not they are those people. But here's an interesting element. What they're going to do is they are in the middle of extraditing other people who are believed to be in Lesotho. So they're basically in that process. So more arrests are imminent, and which brings about questions around, you indicated that, you want 5 people for this particular case, but now you're saying there could be more, and those people are not in the country, and you're in the process of bringing them back. How many are they? And the NPA couldn't really confirm the number to us, but saying, more arrests are imminent, so they're in that process of bringing them back to the country.
And extradition, just finally, is not an easy process. So when this matter goes back to court by, mid-October, shall we say, do we expect some progress on that? What's going to happen?
So they've not laid out their plan to us in terms of how they're going to basically bring them back to the country and when exactly that's happened. They are at the moment still very hush about how the investigations are going. There's been a number of questions around why it is that the police have not made arrests like 2 months later, but they're not really revealing how they are planning to go about this. So at this moment they're saying the matter stands down for further investigation, and maybe at a later stage will we be able to hear on what the next step is, for not only for the state, but with the 5 men that are currently in the dock or that are arrested, will they also be applying for bail?
Linda Mnisi, thank you very much for that update today.